Hola, aquí estamos con Rafael Rodriguez, es un artista salvadoreño. We're today with Rafael Rodriguez. He's a Salvadoran artist who I have invited to my podcast and hopefully my Facebook as well. Rafael, quiero hablar en inglés porque la audiencia americana tal vez no sabe todo lo que has vivido. And that's my desire to teach more American speakers all your journey and also the progress that you have done now as an artist. So can you tell me, are we ready to, I'm really excited to listen all the information and all the journey that you had in your life from El Salvador to here. Maybe we can start talking about how was your childhood in El Salvador and what happened and why you came to US and everything, like you want to open up with us. I will appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you, Nadia, for having me in your podcast. It's really my pleasure to share, and that's one of my reasons that I do art is to kind of educate people, like to tell people my story, to give because sometimes people judge immigrants without having the opportunity to listen to their stories. So that's one of the reasons why I do art. So I create art that is about my story, to tell my story, but at the same time, it tells the story of other immigrants at the same time. So I grew up in El Salvador. It was in a rural area. There was no electricity at the time. When I grew up, I went to school there. I went to 9th grade, and then once I turned 17, I decided I wanted to come to the US because I was at a time where I was exploring what I wanted to do. If I wanted to learn different stuff, and unfortunately, at the place where I grew up, there was not opportunities. There was no nothing to learn how to do. I mean, there was agriculture to do or other stuff like growing, agriculture, but that's not, that's the only thing that is there and nothing else. So that's one of the reasons why I left El Salvador.
What part of El Salvador exactly?
I'm from, I was born in Departamento La Unión. And then when I was about 4 or 5 years, I moved to department of Morazan, which is really close. We live like kind of in the line of the two departments.
And then where were your parents? Your parents support you with the idea to move here, or it was your desire, or how do you say I'm going to US, or how did it happen?
It was kind of both. It was first my idea, but they had, they wanted to give me education. They wanted me to continue school. They wanted me to have, to explore different careers or things to learn as a young person. But they couldn't afford that. They couldn't afford me to go to school because to continue school after 9th grade there, you have to go to the city, a small town. I could either go to a small town called Santa Rosa de Lima, where I was born, or go to another old town called Sociedad or San Miguel, which is department of San Miguel. But they couldn't afford it because they will have to pay money for transportation, or if I was going to stay at the town, I couldn't, afford to pay where to leave.
So then how your journey started? When you say, okay, today is my last day in El Salvador, I decide to move. What happened?
Like I said, I was 17 at the time, and then you know, I had I you know, like I decided to come, and I had some money saved up for it wasn't, I had to borrow money from other people to be able to come, to pay some of the fees. You know, and then I had to contact someone who was going to help me with the like a guidance, we call it coyote. Um, and that's, you know, when I left El Salvador, I left by myself. But then on the way, you know, when you start to come to San Salvador, you start to join other people that they come to this country as well. And then Guatemala, there's more people. Mexico, more people. And so once we get to the U.S., you know, to the U.S. border or to the desert area, there's a lot of people that are, you know, like kind of collecting.
So what was the hardest part during the process from El Salvador to here? What was the that you were like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, or what was the hardest? Did you had
Yeah,
any story?
yeah. There's a, you know, when I had the idea to come to the US, it wasn't like a one day to another day. Like I had like a month thinking, maybe more than a month, like a couple months thinking like, what is process gonna be? Am I gonna survive? You know, because I saw a lot of the news. I saw a lot of people who left from the same area, left, and you know, they disappeared. Like no one knew about them anymore. So because they die in the desert or they die on the river, or you know, some people kill them. You know, on the way you might come across drug dealers, and they might force you to bring drugs, and you know, they might force you to go to paths that are really dangerous. So I was thinking all of that when I had the idea to come, because I knew that it was dangerous. I knew that there's like a 50% you could make it or you cannot make it, or you can be sent back to, you know, you can be detained and maybe put in jail and then be sent back. So there was the whole process when I had to take the, you know, the decision, because like I said, it's you were thinking about maybe you will make it or maybe you will not make it. So um, I once I left my country, I already had that idea on me. Like there's 50% chance that I might make it or that I might not make it. But we decide to take that decision and decide to take that risk because it's a lot better. Because if you make it, even if it's as an undocumented, you have a lot more opportunities in this country than staying home.
Mm-hmm.
And also at the time when I left, it was in 2013. There was a lot of gang violence going on in my country. I'm not saying this to make my country seem like a, you know, like a really dangerous country, but at the time, the government was fighting the gangs groups in the cities, so they were like kind of fleeing to the countryside. So they were getting kind of in my area, and that's also one of the reasons why my family support the idea of me coming to the U.S. So that's another reason. But throughout the process, I, you know, when I went through Guatemala and through Mexico, I faced some dangerous moments, like you know, avoid the you know, contact with the drugs, you know, with the cartels and all of that, or the police, because the police is also, you know, sometimes can be dangerous for immigrants, because they try to some branches of the police try to take money from the immigrants so they can let us continue. So we had to avoid those and sometimes as well.
And then there was a moment that did you pray or did you ask God like help me or something, or a spiritual thing that when your faith was, or I don't know, your body, all the
Mhm.
hurt, anything that
Yes. Yes, of course, all the time. Since the first time I had the idea from my country, and the idea when I wanted, in the process of taking that decision, I was always, praying, like asking God to, you know, to to be His will, to be His willing to take me to the better place, and to whatever I deserve. Like if God believes that I deserve a better place, please take me to that place. So I was always asking that, and it's the whole way. Like even like since I left my country, I was always praying and praying, praying for the best. Um, and there are times where you had to, and where you had to avoid danger, you had to avoid certain things. You always pray and please take me to the safest place that I could be. So it's even if you're not like a religious person, when you take that decision, when you take that risk, you're always believing in something big, believing that um, you will go to a better place.
So how long it took you from El Salvador to here, and then what happened the day you came to US?
So it took me less than a month to get to the US border, because I left my country on May 1st, and then I arrived to the US border on May 18. So it was less than a month. Um, so it was, I was a minor, so I was looking for to apply for asylum at the time. For there's a law like there was a law called juvenile protection. I think that's what you call it, special juvenile protection at the time. But then when the President Trump came, he got rid of that law. But I already had submit all the documents before he blocked that law. But I had to walk through the desert, um, like for one night, and like a couple hours during the day. And it was the most difficult part, because walking through the dark at night, and you don't know, like all the snakes and all the danger around. And then it was around morning when the border patrols knew when we entered the US. So they just let us get tired. They just let us work and work and work until it was time for us to rest in the morning, because we would start working like around 6 in the morning, 6 at afternoon. And then they let us get tired. Then when we were resting, that's when they came and picked everyone up.
Wow. And then what happened? Like, what year is that exactly?
That was 2013. 2013. That was in May 2013. So like I was, I crossed the border
during Obama administration, basically.
Yeah, it was during Obama administration.
Mhm.
I crossed the border on. I reached the U.S. Territory on. I didn't cross the border. I don't remember which place I went through. I didn't see. I didn't get to see the border or anything like that. But
Mhm.
I entered the U.S. like around on May 18. But then I stayed in a place for like 1 week or 2 weeks, and then that's when I had to walk. That's when I came across, the border patrols.
And then what happened?
And then they took me to a detention center. Um, they took me to one first, and then to second one, and then to the third one. I think they were trying to take me to a nearest place, to an airport or something like that. But I remember that at the first one that they had me there for at least one night sleeping. It was really like a really small cell, and there was a lot of minors there. Um, and there was no space to sleep because it was so crowded of people. So I had to stay like sitting down and sleep there. So it was more than a day, I think. The reason why I don't know is because the light is always on. There's no window. The AC is always on. It's really cold. So I didn't know what day, what time, what day, what day it was. So I think it was like 3 days. But then they moved me to the third one, to the last one. I don't remember. I don't really remember. Like I said, it's just, I wasn't aware of the time. And it was, and after like the third day or something like that, they sent me to New York, to a place in New York called Lincoln Hall. It is like I don't know. It used to be like juvenile corrections center, but they make it into they put minors that are immigrants there. So I was there for a month and a half, and after that they let me come to live with my family here in Maryland.
And how was your experience in that month and a half? What I mean, what can
Yeah, I would say that wasn't that terrible. They treat me, they treat us with respect, and they took us to school, everything. The school was nearby. School was they teach us how to do some things like like wood carving, like how you call that, like they teach us some basic stuff, and they also took that to school. That wasn't too bad, but I was always worried about my family, about what was going to happen, because I was there, but I didn't know what was going to happen, like if they were going to send me back, or if they were
did they give you medical assistance or in?
Yes, they did. Yes. Yeah, that place. Because I think once they transition, they send me to that place. That place is like the people, like organizations are paying those places to take care of immigrants. So they are supposed to take care of the minors. Yeah,
and then I'm sorry?
So that place wasn't that bad, except that I didn't know what was going to happen.
You were able to communicate with your family or no?
Yes, with my family back in my country, yes, like once a week or once every other week, something like that.
And with your family in Maryland, no?
It was hard because I didn't have their phone numbers and
Oh my
all
God.
of that. I only memorized my phone from my house, from back home.
And then how the process of now I think you have a better status, and also you're able to start studying. And how the process started when you find liberation in art, like how that happened.
Actually, I'm still fighting my case. I still fighting my case in immigration. I haven't had any. I'm still undocumented, with no document at all. It has been 8 years. It has been a long and hard process because I had a court in the same year that I got released from the place in New York, and then I had another one in 2014, which I didn't go because I didn't have. I didn't have anyone to take me to court. I was still a minor, and the first court that I went, the judge told me that I needed to bring a lawyer for the next court, and I was trying to find a lawyer after that. I couldn't find one, and I had the receipt that I was making an appointment with the lawyers, and they didn't want to take my case because I don't know what they saw in my case, that they didn't want to take my case. So I was afraid because I didn't have a lawyer. I didn't go to the court. But then my aunt's lawyer, one of my aunt's lawyer, you know, she heard about my case, and she said that she could take my case. So that's when I went to her office and we talked, and then she took my case, and then it took me 2 years to remove my order of deportation, because I got the letter saying that I had like 30 days to leave the country. So I had to, get, remove my order of deportation and then reopen the case again. So that's one of the reasons it has taken me long, but I'm not really sure. I think it will take me more like another 6 years or something like that, depending on how the system is working. But yeah, I have been able to go to school. Since I got released from New York, I was able to go to high school. I finished high school in 2017, and then I was a little older to be in high school, but they gave me like scholarships to take summer schools due to I had good grades, so they gave me scholarships. And then I was able to finish in 2017. I was 21 at the time, and then after that, I was struggling to go to. I really wanted to go to school after high school, university or college, but I couldn't because it was I could, but it was kind of challenging because I didn't have any type of document. So I started looking for areas and applying for schools. When you go to the system, to the school website, it doesn't let you apply because they ask you for Social Security and all of that. And I couldn't apply because I didn't have that. So there were some schools that didn't require Social Security to apply. So I went and did the application. And there was one that got really excited because I was applying for art schools, and they really wanted to. They really liked my artwork, so they offered me like one of them is a school in Maine. They offered me $64,000 scholarship.
Nice.
But I was so excited. I really wanted to go to that one because that's one of the ones that I really talked to the person that works there, and I couldn't take the scholarship because I didn't have any document. So then I continued struggling in the area, and then I wanted to go to community college, and the community college wanted to give me this full scholarship as well because I didn't because of my art. But because I didn't have the documents, I also couldn't get the scholarship. So I kind of gave up at that time. It took me like 1 year where I was trying to find out how could I make it to a school or university. So what I did was I decided, okay, I'm not going to apply, but I'm going to continue working, creating work on my own, learning on myself. And then that's what I did. And then a couple months later, I have like a small exhibition, and people started to like my work. And people that came to sign my work, they got my contact information, and then they shared with other artists in the area. And then they brought me to the group of artists that in the area, and they kind of gave me advice what to do, how to improve, and I learned so much from them because some of them are professors at different universities, or some of them used to be professors but they don't want to teach anymore. But they teach me, they taught me so much. So I learned a lot from them, and then through them I was able to connect to another community college here in the area in Maryland, and I was able to attend that college. But I'm attending that college. It's called Montgomery College, as an undocumented student, which sometimes you have to pay double or a lot more, which is different. So I'm still here there. I'm still taking classes there as a part-time student, and hopefully this semester I will finish with my associate degree.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I've been working on.
And tell me how you start, because my podcast is called Natural Therapy, right? So So basically, I try to find people who have a struggle in life and have found any way to get out of your sadness. Like if you can talk about what was your sadness, is how you release that part of you that it was a wound and now is healing, right? Through art, basically. So can you explain a little bit?
Yeah, that's art is wonderful, and actually, I'm also teaching at a high school. I'm teaching seniors now, and I try to talk to them. I'll get to my own work in a minute, but I try to tell them, do like make work about yourself, um, you know, or about things that are affecting you. You know, let's say you have a problem going on and you don't want to talk about it. Make art about it, and that way you don't have to talk about it. But when people see it, they will know what you're talking about, like what they will connect with the artwork that you're creating. So that's kind of pretty much how I got to do art, because I remember I was in high school. During my second year in high school, I wasn't really learning the language that fast as I wanted to, because I was always around other Latino students who were always speaking Spanish. But I was always inspired. Like I was always remembering why I left my country. I left my country because I wanted to explore what I wanted to do, like what is there to do, like different things. So I was always looking on the hallways and I saw artwork that from the art classes, and I wanted to meet those students who were making that art. Um, and then my second, like I said, my second year in high school, I had the opportunity to take an art one. Um, and then there I was just doing, basic art. But then one day, another art teacher came to the classroom, and she was teaching a program, a specific program at the high school that I was going to, and I wanted to apply to that program, but I couldn't apply because I didn't know the English. I didn't understand English, and I needed to write like 2 essays, and I needed to have letters of recommendation, and so I was really excited about the program. I could understand a little bit about the program, what they were talking, and I wanted to be in the program, but like I said, I couldn't, so I didn't say anything. And I went to my English class, and then the next day I came to my class again, and I told the teacher that I wanted to try that program, and she said, "Yes, you're a good candidate. You are is good, so you can apply." And she said, "I will give you the one letter of recommendation and find somebody else to give you another letter of recommendation." So I went to my art teacher at the time, and she said, "Yes, I'll give you the art letter and I will help you with the essay." And I was so excited at the time. And they both helped me. And then I applied to that program to be there the next year, which would be my junior year. But during that whole time, I was just creating art for fun. I was just looking forward to have fun, drawing for fun. So I got to the program, and I was still with that mentality of making art for fun. But then when I got there, my teacher was really good, and she was always pushing us. She was always saying like, "Okay, why is the reason that you're doing this? Is there something else that you can improve?" Some things like that. She was always pushing us to find different ideas, different teams, and through that, I was able to explore. I started creating art about natural disasters, about environment things. But then she was always pushing. I thought, okay, this is my team. This is what I want to create art about. But she was always pushing. Okay, what is next? Or what is something that is about you, or something like that. And she was always saying like, a natural disaster is a good theme to have and to create art about. But I think there's something else about you. And then I started to think. I started to write ideas, um, and then I found out, and then I saw what was she kind of referring to, my own immigration story, my own, my own story. And then I started to create a sketch about, things about myself. But I was still like, I couldn't, I couldn't speak English that well. So I was just, sketching and creating small paintings about it. And that kind of, even though I couldn't even tell the stories through speaking, people were connecting with that. Because I remember I created a really big drawing with pencil, graphite, with my hands tied with a rope. And when people saw it, they knew what I was talking about. So that's when I kind of start creating art, because I didn't have to talk that much to tell the story through my artwork.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's
I saw you through Salvi News, and to me, I just start crying when I saw all those images. You really express your soul through them, and I'm really proud that you're Salvadoran first, and also even all your struggle, you're someone who keep going and keep pushing, and I do really admire you. I just want to tell you that I really admire your resilience, your desire to keep going, um, and the way you express art from your soul. And I can see
Thank you.
that it's beautiful. And I wish you the best. Also, what is your favorite technique? Like, what is your favorite? What do you like to paint? What colors you like? Because sometimes I see some purple in your painting. And
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me
My,
about
my
it.
my favorite color is blue, but I use a lot of purple. In the past, I have used a lot of purple because to me, purple represents like um, I don't know if it gave me a different, to me, it's like a really nice feelings about my story and like loyalty and stuff like that. Purple have a lot of meanings, but um, one of the reasons why I add purple is because to me, even though I'm still as undocumented immigrant here in the U.S., I have found so many opportunities that not everyone sees them. Like the students I've seen, the kids that grew up here, it's hard for them to see those opportunities because, um, you know, uh, um, it's like something normal for them. And for me, that I came from a place that doesn't have that much opportunities, I take whatever is available to me, like whatever opportunity I can take, um, and I hold on to that because I know how much the valuable those opportunities are, and even though sometimes when I like opportunities that I have had before is like going to a program, programs that teach me how to write an essay, teach me how to write a resume, and even though I at the moment I might feel, oh, this is boring, I don't want to do this, but I know like after I finish the program, that will help me a lot. That will put me in a different place, and and I just appreciate that because I remember going to a program uh, called Creative Works, and the program is really amazing. They teach us different skills. They train us. If you really want to continue with school, they help us to through applications or through different skills. And if you don't want to continue school, they find different programs that you want to take, like train school or things like that. And the program even pay the students to go. It pay us not that much, but it cover transportation and things like that. And I remember there were students that were there for the pay, and I went to the program just to learn. And I remember that when I went to the interview, the program is like applying for a job. So I went to the interview, and I remember the people there. After I went to the interview, they contacted me and say that they couldn't take me because I didn't have the documents. But what they were worried the most was to pay me, to give me the payment. Um, so I said, no, don't worry about it. As long as you let me be in the program, I don't want to, I just want to be in the program. I just want to learn. So they saw how committed I was to be in the program. So they found a way to still take me in the program. And through that program is where I was connected to different people in the community.
Good. What inspiration have you got through COVID? Did COVID have inspired you for your new colors? And what do you think? Hopefully, this life opens for you.
Mhm. Yeah, actually, yeah. When COVID first started, I was, everyone freaked out and everything, So I remember that I had to go to the store during those times when they closed everything, and no one was ready. I didn't have any mask. I didn't have any, you know. So I had to go to the store, and the only thing I had is a construction mask, really big mask, and I think I had a picture in Instagram. So I had to wear that mask to the store, and I took a picture of that mask, and I painted it. I wanted to have like a blue. I have blue colors and like greenish colors in the background, but then the George Floyd murder. They killed George Floyd, and everything. Kind of give a different turn to the quarantine. So I add more like black colors in the front because I wanted to emphasize that we here like in quarantine, and we're having this police brutality, but we don't see what is next. We don't see what this pandemic is gonna take. We don't know where's this police brutality gonna go. So that's gonna add a lot of dark colors in there.
Have you tried? Because I like also graffiti technique, but have you tried graffiti as an art as well?
I have not tried, but I was trying to learn how to apply spray paint. Um, even if it's not like graffiti style, but I want to learn how they apply it because I'm also working in public art commissions. I created a mural, like a public painting last year, and I'm working on another one this year. I still have to sign some other papers, but I want to learn how to apply the paint because sometimes it can be faster when you have like spray paint instead of being with the brush. It helps you to cover big spaces a lot faster.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Well, Rafael, I want to appreciate for all your time that you have take giving me this interview. Something that I really know that my audience will catch is when you say I didn't have words to express what I feel, but painting did it for me. I was like, wow, that's so strong.
Yeah.
And I hope anybody who hears your story feel inspired. I know that nothing is gonna stop you, and I hope good blessings for your life. And honestly, thank you for giving me the time. I'm one of your biggest fans already. So I hope I can see your art coming and growing. Gracias.
Thank you, gracias. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to share my story, and my goal is to inspire young people as well because I experienced, when I went to high school, I saw a lot of people like skipping school because they didn't want to be in school. They didn't know what to do after high school. So I'm working to find ways to inspire people. So it's my pleasure to share my story, and I hope someone can benefit from it.
Can you give us your contact through here? Your how can people find you online, or where can find your art, or where can buy
Yeah.
your art?
Yes. My Instagram is so my Instagram, people can find me on Instagram. Instagram is Rafa Rodriguez, RafaRodriguez. Um, how you call that? Lower, how you call that?
Lowercase?
Yeah, Lord, no,
El guión, dash,
guión bajo.
no sé cómo se dice. Well, I'm gonna try to put it I'm gonna edit the video and I'm gonna put it in the bottom.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay. Once people go to my IG, I have my my website there, so people can see more of my work.
And what is your website?
It's similar to that. It's rafaelrodriguez.squarespace.com.
Okay. Okay, I'll put it in also in the editing, hopefully. Gracias,
Okay.
Rafael. I
Thank
wish you
you.
the
Thank you
best.
so.
And please make more art for everybody.
I will. Thank you so much.
Never give up.
I will.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Okay.